What's going on, guys? Welcome back to AI Infused with me, Riff. Now, this episode, I wanted to talk to you guys about something I'm really passionate about is, music production, musical industry, just everything, instruments, instrumentals, making them, dolls, all of that. I'm super nerdy. A little bit of my background is I've been producing music for a very long time. Not that, nothing is like Grammy hit or anything like that, but I made a lot of beats for different artists, some artists that are out there right now in the industry. And I started from FL Studio. I was a FL Studio head. We'll talk about the different dolls later, but some of you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so that's my music is a real passion for me, and I've just been looking at the music industry, and I'm like, wait a minute, seems like we're losing something all these years as the years are going by. The genres are starting to kind of change into one. It's like melting together. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can see like a funnel, if you picture like a funnel, all the genres are starting to flow. And there's like two big genres that are really carrying the game right now. So we're gonna take a look at that. But before we take a look at that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Helps us out. The algorithm. You already know. You're on YouTube, okay? Hit the subscribe button. Helps us out a lot, and I appreciate you guys as the channel continues to grow. So as we dive right into this now, we're gonna look at genres just in general real quick, and then we're gonna talk about the subgenres, right? And then we're gonna talk about this transformation that's happening between the subgenres, creating this new type of genre. You guys really like this presentation? All right, give me a sec. Now, the main genres I would say, from I think my perspective, would be rock, pop, hip hop, and electronic, right? Now, I'll explain what I mean by that, because if you look at rock, for example, right, you have your alternative, punk, hard, and indie, right? And two examples are like Queen and the Beatles, right? I think that's the band from Liverpool, okay? Now, from those two, just examples, you can have, right, a branch of so many artists that have, some type of inspiration from those two very distinct kind of sounds, because they really represent that genre very well, right? And same thing if you move on to like pop, right, which is short for popular music. Now you have your pop rock, which is something that you can almost say branched off of kind of rock as well, but it's really on its own thing. So you got pop rock, synth, teen, and K-pop, which is a Korean genre, and we already know who dominates there, which is that BTS band right here. And the other example would be like Fall Out Boy. So if you remember like early 2000s, mid 2000s, there's a band called Fall Out Boy, and they were kind of dominating that pop rock area. And then you have hip hop. So in hip hop, I would say for the main genres that kind of carried hip hop from the beginning, you have something like your gangster, your conscious rap, and your East Coast and West Coast, and trap, right? Because those are kind of like the big heavy hitters. If you think of like the main artists that kind of came out of those areas, your West Coast, your NWA's, and you got Tupac, Biggie in the East Coast, and then you got your gangster rap with 50 Cent, and you got your conscious rap, KRS-One, all these guys, and you have your trap for down south, T.I. and all that. These guys are kind of like carried, I would say, the genre from the beginning. Okay, so this is why I use those examples. And I got K Dot on there with Lil Wayne as examples, so just kind of like real heavy hitters. Now, electronic, and you got your house, techno, dubstep, trance. These are your more European popular guys. So if you're like a European person right now, you're looking at this presentation, you're seeing those guys, you recognize those guys instantly, right? Maybe not so much BTS or something, but you recognize those guys because those are the guys that kind of pioneered a little bit of that genre, and they're big outside of, I would say, the US kind of, but anyway, so those are I would say the genres that things kind of really branched out from. Everything else we can find from these kind of base genres. Now I'm also kind of covering just like popular-ish music, music that we kind of recently all kind of listen to. No one's really turning on Bach when you get in your car or something like that. You know what I mean? All right, so yes, I would say the two subgenres that are really carrying the industry right now would be from pop and hip hop, right? And that's those genres we talked about, the trap, gangsta, all those. Now, if you look, for example, just on the left side here for pop, right, look at what came out of popular music just throughout the past, I would say the past 10, 15 years. You got your lo-fi, country pop, pop rap, alternative, afro pop, bubblegum pop, power pop, and pop soul. Now, some of you guys might not believe me about this bubblegum pop, like I made it up. No, but it's real. Like, there are some really interesting subgenres out there, and if you really type it on your Spotify or your Apple Music, whatever, you will hear some real different type of music out there. Okay, so you have on this side all these subs, and there's way more subgenres of this. I just put many as I can list just for this illustration. And then you have on the hip hop side, right? That what came out of the hip hop subgenres. You got your Afrobeat, drill, which is from the UK, also called grime. So I put both of them in there, just to be safe. But you have your melodic rap, which is super popular right now. Boom bap, which is kind of old school type. You got old school rap, emo rap, CHH, which is Christian hip hop, which is, I would say, very young right now and super underrated. But I don't think CHH is going to get a chance to grow and become something as big as pop or like mainstream hip hop or anything like that, because it's kind of the market's kind of really saturated as far as like genres. So I think it'd be easier for CHH to just transform into whatever the next phase of hip hop would be, and then be a big player in that kind of pool. But you also have your reggaeton, which is Latin music. Now reggaeton is kind of the base foundation, and then from there you got your same thing. You can kind of put arrows down from reggaeton, and it'll be melodic reggaeton. And, you know what I mean? You got your drill reggaeton now. So it's like everything's kind of branching down and down and down, and we're creating like thousands of mini subgenres. But here's what's been happening in the past, I would say, 5 to 10 years, right? So we have all these subgenres here on the side in green have now been kind of melting into creating this new genre, right? Now I'm saying this new genre, not a subgenre. It's going to be equivalent to pop and hip hop. Like, this is kind of the new genre we're seeing right now, right? And it's going to make a lot more sense when I show you guys some examples of artists in this new genre. So I call it melodic rap, pop, emo, drill, because I didn't have a really good name for it, but it's pretty much qualities from these subgenres on the side here that are making us, kind of, I think, in tune with this type of music. So it sounds, it's something that sounds really good to us right now, right? And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Now look at these artists, right? So for example, we'll start with like Kane Brown right here on the right side here. Now Kane Brown is listed under country, but I think it's more like country pop. But you can see from his style of music that there is melodic rap in it, there's pop, there's rap, there's emotional sometimes. I think a couple of his songs have this real like dramatic emotional sound to it, but super pop sound, right? So it's like he's incorporating so many of those. It just is the genre now. It's no longer a subgenre. Like, that is the genre, right? Then you have Drake, someone who absolutely never misses with any track, and you can probably track down Drake's music and catch almost every genre he's been able to dive in, get in there and try to make it his own, and really respect the genre as well, and try to do it correctly. But so he absolutely just never misses, and he is just doing the current genre, right? That's what he's doing. Then you got your Taylor Swift, who, same thing, right, is incorporating some of these elements in her music, whether she's featuring a rapper or somebody that does emo type of music or whatever, somebody does melodic rap. Like, she's still being plugged in, or doing a song with the next person here, who is Ice Spice, who I would say would be the best representative for this genre, right? She is the new genre. So she can, if you were to look back like 50 years from now and describe, what type of music was popular at this time, right? She would be like the prime example. Like, if you were to go today, right? She would be the prime example. Or, at any point in 2023 after, she was discovered, I would say, right? She would be absolute prime, because this is her world right there, right? It's melodic, it's rap, it's pop, it's emo, it's drill or grime, whatever you want to call it. And then Lil Uzi Vert as well, who is also, I would say, participating in this current genre, right? I mean, that's what his music is, and that's what it represents. Right now, this is not to make these genres sound like I'm hating on it or anything like that. I'm actually just recognizing that the transformation of the game is happening live in front of us, and some of us aren't really taking the time to kind of admit that this is kind of the new genre. This is where it's going. Now let me see what the stats show for these genres, and you'll see why this is very important right now. What does the stats say? So the most popular genre on Spotify, right? So if you look at the legend right here, right? So hip hop is in purple, right? Look at that, 38% most popular genre. Now I would say Spotify is probably the top music platform right now, right? And then you got closely followed by Apple or Android, one of those. But either way, it's like 38%, right, of the listeners are listening to hip hop on Spotify. Right, just think about that. That is literally all those categories from the side have flowed right into hip hop, right? And this is where all the music is kind of going right now. That's just a mind-blowing stat for me here. Right now, let's look at, right, if that doesn't do enough. In second place there was pop, right? So you got hip hop and pop absolutely dominating the past few, I would say maybe in 5 to 10 years, is that safe to say? 5 to 10 years? I mean, every song has some type of element of pop and hip hop now, right? To be commercially sound. Now, look at here, just on the left here, most streamed artists. I mean, look at that, right? It's all the guys that are representing that new genre I described just on the last page there, right? I mean, look at this guy. You got your Bad Bunny, Olivia Rodrigo. She falls into that, Taylor Swift realm. Justin Bieber, of course, and then there he is, Drake. And I'm not too familiar with Raul Alejandro, but I guarantee if it's reggaeton, there's, I could probably assume there's melodic rap in there, right? You know what I mean? There's some type of drill, something, it's in there. And then most spin artists in the world just below that. Michael Jackson still holds strong, king of pop, right? Obviously, Queen, rock. Now look at that. And then you got The Weeknd, Ed Sheeran, who I would absolutely say falls into the new genre as well, and then Dua Lipa, of course, who is taking over the pop game. Now, let's look at the sales on the right side here, right? Now, look at the sales. This is a crazy number because, you would expect, right, the most popular genre to have the most sales, but it's actually complete opposite, which is like the electronic, right, genre has the craziest amount of sales. That just gets me, right, so confused. So it's like, what's happening, that causes this to happen, right? But you can see that, with the stats now, right, we are coming into the future of genres, and it's happening right now, and it's probably going to be a blend of the latest subgenres, right? So it's going to be just that melting pot of something from hip-hop and pop that we are going to be listening to as the new genre. And then there are going to be things that are going to branch out from there. And I'm really curious of what's going to branch out from there, because I promise you there's going to be some crazy sound coming. Mark this video, okay? Now, there's going to be some artists from 2 different genres collabing. I mean, that's already happening. Artists from all over the place are collabing, and it's just like, I love it. You know what I mean? You have artists collab with somebody that doesn't even speak the same language. I love that, man. That's awesome. Right? And then you're going to have AI generated instrumentals. Now, why do I think you're going to have AI generated instrumentals? Because it's really easy to teach these AI systems of what we like, because that's what they're tuning for. They're just right, they're waiting for a reward. So it's like, well, what do you like, master? Okay, cool, and I will do more of that. Or just think about the AI generated images, right? I've made a video on AI generated images on how our eyes are getting really fatigued to really, nicely generated images, like really nice specs. Like, our eyes are just getting tired. They're so good. Like, the images are just so crisp. They're perfect. It's weird, right? So it's like, at some point, the AI generated instrumentals are just going to be as good. So it's going to be complementing producers, right? So it's not taking over, like, hey, just do it like this. No, it's like, hey, if I'm producing, I'm like, okay, I want a hi-hat that kind of sounds like, and then the AI is able to just grab that sound right there and then input it immediately. So it's like, I'm not wasting time searching for whatever. Like, it just is finding what I want, and it knows where to put it, and it's just asking me how long. You know what I mean? So it's like, the AI is generating the instrumental, but it's still me, kind of tweaking it here, kind of speaking to the AI. So I think that's actually going to be cool. But I guess not everyone is on the same boat of that kind of view. But as you guys can see, if you weren't, familiar with, what's going on with genres, so I hope this video kind of gave you a little bit of insight for that, and that we are going to see a future that is going to be interesting. The sounds are going to be just super interesting. So look out for the next video. You can just subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and like, and you'll get a notification when the next video is coming up, or just come back to this channel and check what's going on. And we also do cool lo-fi Afrobeat, which I haven't really seen out there yet, but go ahead and check that out if you're doing some studies or whatever. Anyway, my name is Riff. This is AI Infused, and we'll see you guys in the next one.